Hello and welcome to this week's episode, this week's video, this week's conversation, um, where I want to share with you everything I know about love. I want to share with you some lessons that I have learned on a moment of personal transformation that I have been through in the last few weeks, months, um, as my relationship ended. And it's been a painful time, but it's also been a beautiful and sacred time. Um, because I believe that love is here to teach us. And I actually believe that we're here to learn love, but not love as love out there, or as in, oh, I fall in love, I get married, I have children, I have the happily ever after. I believe that the understanding love as the truth of who we are, that's the love we're supposed to learn. And so I believe that we grow in relationships. I think I've said in previous videos, like when I've been speaking about shadow work is you can only really do shadow work in relationship. Yes, you can do this transformation on your own. There are practices, processes that you can do on your own to learn about yourself, but really the world is a mirror for you. And so when you get into a relationship, you always project onto the other person in the beginning. And what I have learned is that over time, as you reclaim the projection, you begin to see the true self, and or you begin to see the person for who they are without the projection. And if that isn't in alignment with you, then the relationship isn't destined to last. And that's okay, because love isn't meant to last. I believe it's here to show us, it's here to reveal something about us. And maybe we do find a love that lasts. But what if every encounter with love could be a beautiful experience, sacred journey between two people that helps us to deepen our connection to self, deepen our connection to source, and deepen our connection to love? And that's what my experience has been in with this recent relationship. And it really was a beautiful sacred journey, because I believe that love is the mirror. Love, in when you meet somebody, you project your inner light or your inner masculine, feminine onto the other person, according to Jungian theory, which put into theory, I know to be true. So we project unconscious parts of ourselves onto the other person. That's why when we fall in love, we don't fall in love. Hi, everybody, meet Maya, new addition to the family. When we fall in love, we don't fall in love with a person, we fall in love with parts of ourselves. Yes, that person shows us parts of ourselves, which is where it gets really beautiful, um but we're not really falling in love with the true version until we can reclaim our projection. So love and relationships get to be a teacher. They get to teach us more about ourselves, and this is beautiful. This can be beautiful. And you may have heard of the idea of a soul contract, the idea of twin flames or something like that, or a karmic connection. And I do believe that, especially the deep relationships that we have, the ones that really leave an imprint, are soul contracts, right? They're here for two souls to come together to learn something, to experience karma together, and then to release and let it go. And when the time is right, you let it go. But if you don't end when it's supposed to, that's when things can get a little bit messy. So love is a mirror for us, for our evolution. It's a teacher. And we enter these soul contracts with others so that we can individuate, so that we can learn more about ourselves. Um, so relationships will always serve a purpose, you know, in helping us to learn more about ourselves. And that doesn't mean that, relationships will help serve a deeper truth to activate your growth and your next level of growth. So the relationship that I just came out of, I wouldn't have been ready for that relationship 3 years ago. We were on a very, very similar journey at very, very similar points. We were very aligned. And we were reflecting what we needed to experience at this point in our lives as individuals. So the fact that a relationship ends doesn't make the experience that you had, less real. Just because love isn't always going to last, it doesn't mean that the love wasn't there. It doesn't mean that the relationship or the experience that you had is invalidated because it ended. Especially if the two of you have entered into a conscious relationship and you are going through you can consciously separate, you can consciously break up, and you can understand from both of your perspectives what you learned about each other, what you learned from each other. Like, that's a really beautiful way to end a relationship. Reflecting with each other, and that's what makes it sacred. That's what makes, only you two can ever understand the connection that you had. And this is what makes the ending of a relationship maybe just as sacred as the beginning of a relationship. And so sometimes the most loving thing that you can do in any situation, not just in relationships, is surrender and let go. And this is something I've been on a massive journey with, is surrender, learning to trust a deeper plan, a divine plan. And so real love can include letting go when the time is right. It's not always meant to last. I used to believe, in the kind of happy ever after, one person thing, because that's what we're sold in conditioning, right? That's what society wants you to believe. But I don't actually believe that's true anymore. So clinging to a relationship or to love that isn't in alignment anymore is rooted in fear. It's rooted in the fear of being alone and the fear of change. So the ego is trying to cling on, and you're never going to grow and evolve from that place. Yes, letting go of somebody that you've known, maybe you lived with, maybe you shared such beautiful moments with, can be painful. But and even this idea that, oh, my relationship failed because we split up, that's also not true. Like, just because you split up, that could actually be a success. But the clinging to the relationship, the other person, to the idea of the love that once was, is generally rooted in fear, especially when you know deep down that needs to be a change. Can you let go of that fear, and can you learn to surrender and trust the divine plan and your individuation process, your growth process? We're evolving beings. We're always evolving. Our identity needs to shift. We need to be able to reclaim the projection that we placed onto the other person, so that we can grow, so that we can live our most aligned life. And whenever we're not doing that, we're stagnating. And that's not good for us. It's not good for the other person. And even when the love is still there, to let somebody go when you know it isn't aligned, you can still love somebody and let them go. You can still love somebody and let them go. You can still love somebody and move on, because you are actually honoring yourself. You're honoring yourself and you're honoring them by not keeping the two of you in a situation that is not helping either of you. it's respect. It's honoring yourself. This is self-love, right? This is knowing what you need for your highest growth and what the other person needs. And yes, you had an incredible time together. You had a beautiful, sacred relationship, but now it's time to move on, and clinging to it is only going to cause more pain and more karma in the long run. And so, like I said, you can end a relationship um, in a conscious way between the two of you, and it makes it just as sacred as potentially the beginning of the relationship and the whole relationship, because it's a chapter. It's a chapter. It's not the whole book. And one of the most profound things that I learned very recently, so I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of my breakup and my relationship out of respect for us and what we had. But the biggest thing that I learned recently, probably 6 to 8 weeks after us breaking up, is that breakups break the illusion. So the projection that we place on the other person is, if whatever we're projecting on another person, like I mentioned, we cannot fully love who they are. We're not seeing them for who they are. And when we do start to see them for who they are, and things suddenly don't feel aligned, and or this triggers me and that triggers me, it's always something for you to look at, right? Like, you're learning in relationship, you're learning about yourself. But when you can separate, the illusion breaks. My ex-boyfriend broke 2 glasses. It's a long story, but before he left, before he moved out, in the week before, when we were kind of teetering on the breakup, a shattered glass means shattered illusions. So you break the illusion in a breakup, the illusion of the projection, and you're able to reclaim that. This is also love, because this is truth, because this is evolution, because it's love beyond the romantic fairy tale love, which isn't based in solid love. It's not based in source. It's based in conditioning. So when the ego cracks, when the projection cracks, shatters, we awaken to Maya, the heart is able to open and actual love is able to come through. Me and my ex had a conversation recently where we both said that we feel like our connection has gone beyond relationship, like romantic relationship now, and it's, it is it's a connection, it's a soul connection, but it's not a needing to be in a romantic partnership with each other. And so the illusion that we had on, like, the projections that we had on each other have been broken. We were able to reclaim them and see them for what they truly are. And going through heartbreak is one of the most beautiful things that we can go through, no matter how painful it is. I am so grateful that I have such incredible friends who have been able to support me in some of my deepest moments. But what I realized when going through the grief of the heartbreak, I realized I was grieving myself, because I had given my power away, my energy away, my projection, and in going through the grief, I was able to reclaim myself. And so this is, I was able to look at who I thought I was, what I believed about relationship, about the other person, about many, many different things to do with life, why I'm here, what I want from life. So going through the heartbreak is a deep, sacred process for yourself. Going through the grief, understanding the grief, can be a deep, sacred process to fall in love with yourself again. That's certainly what it has been for me. And this is how breaking the illusion, helps us into deeper self-love. So deeper, like a next level of self-love, self-trust, surrender, connection to source, connection to divinity. I've had some crazy experiences that I'll say for another time, like that would not have been able to come through if I was still in the relationship. But I've had experiences like understanding the deeper divine energies that are ruling, governing our universe, our dimension. And so I've been initiated into a completely new timeline. I am not on the timeline that I was 2 months ago. I'm on a new timeline because I've had some very, very deep experiences going through this grief. And so Jung called a period like this nigredo. So nigredo is like the start of an alchemical process, is the descent into darkness, into the subconscious, into is the blackening. So when we enter a period of grief, which is necessary for rebirth. So it's a death and rebirth process. You have to descend in order to ascend. Your ego has to die, the illusion has to break in order for you to come out the other side. And that's what these magical, sacred breakups, processes, losses, business challenges, you name it, like whatever transition in your life that makes you look inward, that makes you have insight, is the beginning of an alchemical process where you move forward in your individuation process to becoming whole. And this is what makes life sacred. This is what gives life meaning, to go through our evolutionary process with other people. Going into this means that your heart won't harden for your next relationship, knowing that something even more aligned, even more beautiful is able to come in for you. Going through this means that you're open to love in any situation, going from a beautiful walk in nature to supporting a friend through her own heartbreak. These alchemical processes are what make change in you, in your life. They are so, so powerful. So to end this, this time and this process of nigredo for me, I really have come out the other side of it now, and I could see so many points where the illusion shattered, where I had so much love for my ex, and how our relationship hasn't ended, it's transformed, and it's it's, whilst there has been pain, one of the quotes that inspired this video is, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." And that's what this means for me. There was pain, but the pain was necessary, the pain was beautiful, the pain was sacred, because through it I have grown, and I have been through an initiation and been able to be rebirthed into this next version of myself. So this breakup, this experience, this process has taught me so much about love. It's taught me I wasn't open to love after my cancer journey for a long time, and meeting my ex all seemed very, very, very aligned, very divine, and so it has taught me so much about love, about myself, and ultimately it has brought me back to myself. The relationship that I have with myself at the moment is incredible, and if this is what life is about, I'm fucking here for it. So if you're going through any of these kind of initiations, or a breakup, or I don't know, maybe you're getting into a relationship, but there is always an opportunity. This is about you learning about yourself. You can still love another and learn about yourself. And you can love another, learn about yourself, learn about source, learn about God, learn about the universe all in one go. And it can be sacred. The pain can be sacred. The heartbreak can be sacred. The connection, the relationship is just transforming. Of course, there may be situations where it totally, like you totally cut it off. We don't, there are situations where we don't have to stay in the relationship. It's speaking to another person. If it's causing us actual suffering, if there is, we can always walk away. But ultimately, you're being asked to learn about yourself in all of these situations. So yeah, I have resources that can help you with this. And I'm going to point you to the Shadow and Dream Work Bundle, which helps you, is a 30-day journaling journey to help you go into your subconscious mind and learn about what's something like this, what's lying in your unconscious, that's going to help you reclaim any projections that you might be giving away energy to at the moment. It does include a section on relationships, but also a section on money and a section on health. So whatever the experiences you're in at the moment, there is something in there for you. I hope that you have enjoyed this. I hope that this has in some way shone a light on love, on breakups, on the alchemical process of transformation. And yeah, all those 3 words mean the same thing. But anyway, I will see you next week with another video.